guys, in this video I will be talking about how to arouse the mind so that the body follows eagerly, how to mentally have foreplay with your woman or with your man. You see, I would like to think that most people don't understand what foreplay really is. Half the time we think that it's just kissing, caressing, romancing, massaging, or even having oral sex. And all of these are good stuff. All right, these are foreplay, but it's not particularly the compelling kind of foreplay that gets lovers glued and captivated for a very long time. What gives you that is when you have developed mental foreplay in your relationship, which a lot of people are not doing so much. All right, people are focusing on foreplay, the other physical part of foreplay. Great kissing, giving a guy a blowjob, or doing fellatio and caressing each other. These are physical foreplay. But let's understand that mental foreplay is much more powerful and much more captivating than all of that. Now, I strongly believe that the mind is our largest sex organ because the human sexual responses such as arousal, fantasies, lubrication, ecstasy, erection, orgasm, all of these are directed by part of the central nervous system, and none of these responses can happen without healthy central nervous system. So as the body's hormone control center, the hypothalamus, which governs desire, lubrication, and erection, and then you have the amygdala that plays an important role in emotions such as pleasure. You have the orbitofrontal cortex, which is a decision-making part of the brain, which is also involved in initiating sexual activities. You've got the cerebellum that controls motor responses. Now, I am giving you this information to put it into context how you can use mental foreplay to your advantage in order to spice up your relationship, be it a year-long relationship or month-long relationship. If you know how to activate this in your relationship, it will be far more enticing. Now think about it. Think back to some of these hottest sex that you've ever had. Most likely, it didn't just happen with a faceless stranger. It usually happens with someone that you've known over a period of time. You've gotten to know them on some level, and I can almost guarantee you that there was a slow, delightful, agonizing dance and a build-up beforehand that embodied at least some of the things like prolonged eye contact, flirtatious conversation, some light teasing here and there. You as a woman experiencing confusion, especially when you're trying to decipher his emotion, whether he likes you or not, and then that slowly builds up sexual tension between both of you, and then that transcends into a feeling of electricity and anticipation with his every touch. And then finally you feel a cascade of raw emotion, raw sexual energy, and a loss of inhibition when you eventually did get physical. You may also have noticed that this entire build-up involved almost no physical foreplay whatsoever from your man, yet it led to one of the hottest sexual experiences that you've ever had with this person. It led to one of the most passionate sex of your life. You get the picture that I'm trying to paint. Now, this is what I want you to know. This is what I want to teach you. I want to teach you that real foreplay is the mental foreplay, and you need to activate it in order to spice up your relationship. I'm going to show you how to tease, tempt, flirt, and build a raging fire inside of your partner so that all they can think about is ripping your clothes off and devouring you when they finally see you. Now, let's speak to the men, because you're majorly responsible for building up and sustaining much of the mental foreplay in your relationship, okay? Because you're the one who is made to chase. Now, you could prove me wrong, but you may have heard that for women, foreplay is about 25% physical and 75% mental. In other words, women are moved by words before action. So what that means is that you can't just come home after not speaking to her for over many hours throughout the day and then you try to jump in on her in bed. Odds are we just won't be in the mood and probably won't get in the mood that fast. So if you try to initiate sex but she just is not having it, you probably are failing in mental foreplay games. So this is what you need to do to correct that. Number one, you need to keep the contact alive throughout the day if you want to hit the poom poom at night. But then again, you need to understand that foreplay, mental foreplay, builds up slowly. You can't just expect to send a "can't wait to see you" kind of text 2 hours before you come home, and then you think that you can have her waiting to rip her underwears off for you. So start building the communication from the morning till the close of day, which brings us to our number 2. I'm not going to give numbers to all of these things. I'm just going to speak randomly, all right? Send her messages at optimal times. You can send out the first text message early in the day, maybe 2 hours after leaving her. She would love that you couldn't even go very long without thinking of her. This will invariably keep you in her thoughts, thereby activating warm feelings of love for you all day. Do you get what I'm saying? And 3, about, the first message that you send, it should say something like, I already miss you. Oh, most of my day is just waiting to be with you again. What woman wouldn't like to read that from her man? She definitely is going to love that. It will give her the dreamy effect you're aiming for, and ultimately will make her feel the same way about you, about seeing you, thereby anticipating when you both will reunite. It will have her daydreaming of what could be when you return. So what you're doing is simply tugging on her mind, on her heart, such that even before you arrive home, she's on the verge of exploding because you've made her wet all through the day with your text messages. Then send her something funny. Like, laughter is one of the biggest aphrodisiacs for women. Send her a meme that is just her sense of humor. Send her something that will get her thinking back and cracking up all day long. She will be thinking of you every time she laughs at what you sent. And then understand that women love men who check in on them. So if she's told you that she's going to have a meeting with a certain co-worker that she cannot stand, then check in right after and ask how it went. If she calls her co-worker some nasty, nickname, that's how you should refer to that co-worker. All right, because what you're doing is that you're creating that team effect with her by being on her side. Trust me, she doesn't need you to be the problem solver right now, but she will appreciate the fact that you are her teammate, and this will make her more physically open to you. Then plan your nights better, because a lot of time your partner wants to have sex before the night is over, but by the time you guys have fussed about, what to eat for dinner, you've gone to buy groceries, you're cleaning up, and then finally you found a moment to relax, she's over it. So make sure that you plan your night better by buying your grocery before time, maybe during your lunch break or pre-order delivery. There's nothing, I tell you, there is nothing worse than unpreplanned home dates to turn off a woman. Give her immediate affection also. I don't care whatever you're doing. Whatever you're doing, when your partner walks into the door, just drop it and give her lots of affection. And you have one shot at this. Don't blow it up. Because if you let her open her laptop or get into the shower, you would just lose her attention. She will be in the get shit done mood, and that's that. So break that by showing unexpected affection to her when she walks into the room. That's how you get her attention and mentally get her in the mood to look in your direction. But then again, don't rush it. All right, don't rush your passion. I don't care what it is that you both are doing in bed, because do you actually know, do you actually have an idea how in our heads we can get when you quickly come or you quickly ejaculate, or it seems like you're in a rush, you want to get off? We can't enjoy sex if we see you peeking at a clock because you're worrying about how early you have to wake up in the morning. It just destroys that mental foreplay that you've been trying to build. Take it slow, take it easy. I mean, you know what I mean? Don't make it so obvious. Even if time is against you, don't make it so obvious. Then again, talk about work. You need to be involved in her non-bedroom activities. Talk about work here and there. Because if you don't ask her about her work, she will feel distant from you. A lot has happened to her during the work day that you need to let her share with you so that both of you can get on the same page. That also shows that you have interest in her. Then move on from that talk, but don't let her dwell too much on the work talk, because once we women get there, it's usually very hard for us to relax and turn into another conversation. So find a way to change the subject, give her a glass of wine, and just do something fun. All right, you could massage her. Let her just be mentally open and physically open to you by the care that you show outside of the bedroom. Another way for you to activate that mental foreplay is checking her out. We need to know that you wanted us long before we got into bed with you. We can't just stand when you don't say or do one flirty thing all night long, and then the next minute you try to jump on us the second that we are under the duvet with you. So make it obvious that you're checking her out when she's chopping vegetables, she's cooking, she's cleaning. Grab her and kiss her neck when she's doing chores. And you could also be active in doing chores too with her. It would just make her feel like you really do support her. And because there are some men who just do not do chores at home. They feel like it's the woman's duty or it's the woman's prerogative to do so. The chores are not built for women alone, all right? Men, you can also, if you're back from work or maybe during the weekend, you could also actively do things in the house. This will also activate that mental foreplay in your relationship. Then get in bed first. I can't really explain it, but if we wait around in bed for a long time while you go brush your teeth or you take a long time to take a bath, all right? We'll start to feel like you don't want to have sex. So beat her to the bed. Watch her get ready and try knocking out those last minute tasks afterwards. That's the only way that you can get her to spread open wide. Then be patient. Even if you're in bed first, if you immediately and aggressively make out with your partner when she gets into the bed, she will feel like you just want to get things over and done with. All right, you're just in a hurry. So try to cuddle, laugh, and talk. Make her feel like you guys have all the time in the world. Then she won't be able to wait until you get it down and dusted with her. Okay. Now, the general lesson here that I want you to know is that we can't just turn it on and off, all right? And when you can easily go from no communication all day to trying to have sex the next minute that you walk through the door, would feel less aroused as women. So if you must win at hitting the pom-pom all night, then you have to make sure to mentally stimulate us all day long with words and kind gestures, okay? So that's it. If you do agree with me, you could type, I totally agree with all that you've said, okay? But if you don't, let me know as well. How do you activate, mental foreplay in your relationship or in your marriage? Let me know in the comment section. I would like to learn from you. All right, until I come with the next episode, do have a fun time. If you haven't yet subscribed on my channel, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and be the first to be notified whenever I post my videos here, okay? Be right back before you know it. Mwah.